all of Chaliza School outside because we are decorating the school area for the entire performance later. We have people putting up signs over here. That's my class. We have people practicing a skit over here. It's going to be incredible.
Hi.
The kids in my 4th grade class are amazing. I mean, there's this little guy, I call him Little Blue because he's tiny and he's always wearing a blue shirt. And he's just so smart. Every time somebody doesn't know an answer to something, I look at him and he's like, okay, and answers it for me, which is super cool. Then there's this little girl who, when she looks at me, she goes from like straight face to smile in 0.2 seconds, and it is the cutest thing I've ever seen. She's so excited. There was one kid named Collins, and he is so tall. He doesn't look like he should be in 4th grade, but he came up to me yesterday and he gave me this piece of paper, and I was like, thank you, like, why are you giving this to me? And then one of my translators told me that to him, that piece of paper is the equivalent of like an apple or something that a student would give a teacher as a present. And this kid has so little, he has nothing to give me, that he found just a tiny piece of paper to show me how much he appreciates and loves me. And like, that is the most beautiful thing. I'm here with all my new friends. What's your name? This is Grandma. Say hi. Muy bonji. Last night we put on the Chaliza School children's show, so they had like a big theatrical performance with dances and songs, and the best part was that we got these solar lights and we turned them into lanterns, and now the people in these villages, they don't have electricity, so they don't have light. So once it hits like 7 o'clock, it's so dark, you can't see anything, you can't even see the hand in front of you. And you guys, I've never seen happier faces in my life than when we told these kids about these solar lights. They were screaming and crying and cheering, and the performance was, it was just so good. At the end, with all of them jumping around with their little lanterns, oh, I was in the middle of them screaming my head off, singing with them. I was so excited. It was by far the most beautiful thing I've ever gotten to witness.
Hard work for a better future. Hard work for a better future. My God,
Women don't have feminine products, so when they hit puberty, when they get their first period, they are kicked out of their parents' hut, and they are forced to live in a separate back hut all alone, where they just bleed every month. And if that's not terrifying and sad enough as is, it gets worse because it's their culture that men can sleep with whoever they want. So the men of the tribe will go around and go into these huts and have sex with these women. And that's why the girls get pregnant so early at age 13, 14, start having kids, and then they get married to whichever man they have a baby with. So being able to give these women these paths will hopefully prevent that from happening. Eight.
Let's meet.
8-5. No. 8-5. That's my final offer. I'm walking. I'm walking. Joab, I like you.
With her husky voice.
I'm walking.
Okay, I'll wait.
Outside of this trip, when I realized that our one of the things, the main things we were doing was helping these kids create a theater show. I kept thinking, this is so pointless. These kids don't need to sing and dance. They need shoes and water and healthcare. I was like, it's kind of dumb. I don't really know how I feel about this trip. But I trusted my leaders and I trusted the process. And slowly throughout the week, I started to see how small my faith was and how wrong I was to doubt any of this. These kids, yes, they need those things, but you give them a pair of shoes and those shoes are ruined in a day, and those shoes won't save their lives. What these kids need is love and to be empowered and to learn that they are so much stronger and can do so much more than their world lets them believe. These kids grow up in a village in a hut, and then they make it to maybe grade 6 if they're lucky. They drop out, have kids. That's it. The cycle continues. They need to know that they can do so much more and that the world has infinite possibilities for them. So by helping them create and explore that side of themselves, which is a side that they don't get to do often, it empowers them to see that there's more out there. It helps us build relationships with them that will last far beyond a pair of shoes will, and that will allow us to come back and to continue to do more and more work and to change more and more of these lives. It's different than any other trip I've ever been on, because every other trip is kind of like, oh, we built a school, the end. I don't even remember any of their names. This, I will remember their names for the rest of my life. I remember the ABC students. I will remember the Chiliza students that I worked with. And I built bonds with them. I can remember their faces and their personalities and their names and the things that they love to do. And I can remember their stories and their dreams. And I don't remember that about any other service or mission trip that I've been on, and I've been on 3 other ones. So I think that this just goes to show that this trip will have a lasting effect, even though at the beginning I really did not think it would. And that when you have a global heart, it can change so many things, including yourself.